Hey everybody, I'm Chris Reel, Baltimore City Guide and owner of Rent-A-Tour. Now since we can't give tours in person right now, I thought it might be fun to share some Baltimore stories with you here. And the hope is that after all this is past, once this crisis is behind us, you'll decide to take a trip into Baltimore and see for yourself what a great city it really is. Maybe visit some of our cultural attractions or museums, historic landmarks, eat in some of our restaurants, or even spend a few nights in a hotel. Just do whatever you can to help the city's tourism and hospitality community bounce back after this. And once this video is over, if you stay tuned until the end, you'll have an opportunity to win a city tour with yours truly. That's right, pretty spectacular prize, isn't it? So make sure you watch the entire thing for your chance to win. Now, today's Baltimore story is one of my favorites because it deals with a very important and well-known American symbol, but I'm not sure many people know the history behind it. If you're walking down Pratt Street from the Inner Harbor east, eventually you will encounter an enormous American flag mural. It's 30 feet high and 42 feet long. And if you look carefully, you'll notice that this flag doesn't look quite right. Instead of 50 stars and 13 stripes, this flag has 15 stars and 15 stripes. Now, why is that significant? That 15 star, 15 stripe, 30 foot high, 42 foot long American flag. Well, that is the actual size and style of the flag that flew over Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. Why is this mural located right there on Pratt Street? Well, right next door to that mural is a tiny little brick house. That house belonged to a woman named Mary Pickersgill. Now, Mary was very much ahead of her time. She was a female business owner in the early 1800s. She was a very well-respected flag maker. And in 1813, a young man knocked on her door. At that time, we were at war with the British, the War of 1812. This young man was an army officer named George Armistead. During the War of 1812, Baltimore was the third largest city in the country, and we knew it was just a matter of time before the British decided to attack. And George Armistead's job was to make sure that Fort McHenry, at the tip of the South Baltimore Peninsula, was prepared to defend the city against that expected British attack. Now, Armistead had everything prepared, but he was missing one thing. He was missing a flag. So, in 1813, he knocked on Mary's door, and he asked her to make for him a flag to fly over Fort McHenry. But not just any flag. A flag so large, in Armistead's words, that the British will have no difficulty seeing it from a distance. Well, the result was this enormous 30-foot high, 42-foot long, 15-star, 15-stripe American flag. It took Mary about 6 weeks to complete that flag, and it was delivered to Fort McHenry. And then in September of 1814, that British attack eventually occurred. Ships from the Royal Navy came up the Patapsco River and began a furious assault. Rockets and bombs and mortars exploding all around the fort. And this attack lasted for 25 hours. After 25 hours, those guns fell silent. Now, meanwhile, before the battle had begun, a young lawyer had been asked by President James Madison himself to sail out under a flag of truce and help negotiate the release of an American prisoner of war. Now, these negotiations were successful, and the British agree to release the prisoner, but not until after the battle is over. And so this young lawyer is forced to watch that 25-hour onslaught from the deck of that American diplomatic ship downriver in the Patapsco, behind the British bomb fleet. And so when those guns fall silent, he knows the battle is over, but he doesn't know who won. And there is only one thing that can provide the answer to this vital question. And that's the flag flying over Fort McHenry. Which flag is it? And so on the morning of September the 14th, 1814, this young lawyer stands on the deck of that American ship out on the Patapsco River, peering through his telescope in the direction of Fort McHenry. He's looking for a flag. And as the smoke and the clouds clear that September morning, by the dawn's early light, what does he see? But an enormous 30-foot high, 42-foot long, 15-star, 15-stripe American flag. And when he sees that flag at that moment, he knows the British attack was unsuccessful and Baltimore is safe. He's so relieved, he's so proud, he's so inspired that he begins to write. He begins to write the words to a poem that would become known as the Defense of Fort McHenry. That young lawyer's name, of course, was Francis Scott Key. And the poem that he wrote would later become the words to a song called the Star-Spangled Banner. And in 1931, the Star-Spangled Banner would become the official anthem of the United States of America. That enormous flag is now on permanent display at the Smithsonian Museum of American History in Washington, D.C. but it was born right here in Baltimore. And you can go downtown and you can see that flag yourself. You can visit Fort McHenry and you can stand on those ramparts. You can visit the Star-Spangled Banner Flag House and see where the flag was made. I'd be happy to show you myself. Now, as promised, I'm going to give you an opportunity to win a free Baltimore tour with me. All you have to do is follow me on Twitter, @RealDeal125. Follow me on Twitter, and in my Twitter feed, there will be a question about this video. The first person to correctly answer that question will win a free Baltimore City tour with me. So go to Twitter, @RealDeal125, answer the question correctly. Good luck. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share. Please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm going to try to do more of these Baltimore stories as we go along here. And so if you have any ideas for Baltimore stories, just let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do some research and get back to you with another exciting story sometime real soon. But until then, take care of yourselves, keep your distance, wash your hands, and stop touching your face. See you soon.